So, from what I understand, there has been one record in particular that has been charting off the cookie jar around the world, globally, internationally, that you are responsible for the production of. Could you speak on this before we go raise the level of hate accordingly on this record?
Yeah, the record is called Merquake, with my boy artist Montu Mercury out of Vegas. We met through a community, and we've been rocking, and we charted #1 on iTunes in Indonesia and in the Philippines. And the album, the Mechatron, just dropped, and that went #1 in Indonesia. The album did on iTunes, so got 3 plaques on the way now officially. So
Nice.
so
Nice.
yeah,
Now,
so that Merquake is definitely a vibe, definitely a trunk banger for sure.
that's how you raise the level of hate accordingly. And can I be totally transparent with you right now while we live on air with no strings attached?
Absolutely.
I personally was not a fan of that record.
I kind of
Absolutely not.
I kind of knew I kind of already knew that though.
I was not a fan of the record, but then I said, without hearing the analytics or seeing the analytics in regard to the placement that the record has been receiving or has received, I said, you know what? Because J.O. has been so upfront with the promotion of the radio program, I discussed it with DWI. I said, yo, we're going to throw this into the rotation and see the response. And then once people started responding to it, that's always a plus. And J.O., I've told you this behind the scenes, you always do a great job with promoting the record radio show, the A&R report. Regardless if you or the artists that you work with are on that playlist, you still make sure you promote. And that's all myself and DWI ask. So with that being said, we decided to throw that Merquake record in there, and it worked in our favor. I'm big on analytics. So with my website, I'm able, again, that's www.djbedtime357.com. I'm able to see where and when people are tuning in. So when it's going from country to country and breaking down the cities in the states that are actually tuning in, I absolutely love seeing things like that. So I appreciate you, my brother. And I had to just tell you that while we're on air because we have that no strings attached approach to radio. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you respond.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Like, shout out to Montu Mercury, man. He works hard at his marketing and promotion, and I was, with him as well, promoting the record. And it got a big response. Like, it's definitely a different vibe. Like, there's a whole audience out there for those type of records, man. That's
Right.
why, like, for artists out there, like, don't close yourself in a box, man. You want to explore, and don't get stuck in your local town. Any advice I could give any artists out there, man? Travel, 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 travel. Don't stay in your
Yes.
neighborhood. You have to travel
Yes.
in order to make it big in this business.
Yes. And that's exactly how I looked at it. I said, because I may not like it, there may be a handful of other people who absolutely love it. So let's not kind of push it to the back burner, and let's not hold it back. You know what I'm saying? Let's give the people what they want. And then when we did wind up playing the record, the response that we got only reminded us, okay, this is something we need to revisit. Let's spin the block, so we may be onto something here. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you introduce the record. And really quick before we do that, peace to Montu. Pardon us for taking a short school bus route with introducing your record on the A&R report because we know you and your people been paying attention. But you will continue to have our support. So with that being said, without further ado, J.O. DaBossman, you have the floor. Introduce this record and make sure you raise the level of hate accordingly as if DJ Bedtime 357 was doing it.
Yeah, this is the record my boy Montu Mercury with Merquake, the #1 record in Indonesia and the Philippines, #1 album in Indonesia. And this is Merquake, produced by your boy J.O. DaBossman. Let's get it.